I learned this when I traveled to Italy and had the best chicken of my life. I'm going to start by cutting a chicken breast in half. I bet you'll find this super easy to make. After cutting it, I'll cover it with plastic wrap and pound it well with a kitchen mallet. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout-out. Today's shout-out goes to Michael Brooks from Austin, Texas. I'm really happy you're enjoying our recipes. Alright, this is perfect. Now I'm going to add wheat flour here in this bowl. You can coat the chicken breast in it. Make sure every side is well covered. It's one of those recipes you try once and never forget. Look how it turns out. In this other bowl, I'll add 2 eggs. And I'll also add 3 cloves of garlic. I'm adding 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of black pepper, and parsley to taste. I'll add half a cup of grated Parmesan. Now I'll mix everything until it's well combined, no rush. This is the perfect recipe for when you want something quick and delicious. There's no secret, just follow the steps. Now you can dip the chicken in here. Besides being delicious, it looks amazing too. This recipe looks beautiful on the table, perfect for surprising guests. I'm going to fry it in a pan with oil. Once it gets a nice golden color, you can flip it to fry the other side. In just a few minutes, you have an incredible meal ready. It's the kind of recipe that saves your day when things get busy. I'll add 1.5 cups of chicken broth, 3 more cloves of garlic, and a bit of parsley. Then 1 tablespoon of butter. You can mix everything slowly. This recipe is exclusive and made for people who love practicality without giving up flavor. It's the kind of dish that turns a simple meal into something unforgettable. I'm going to squeeze half a lime in. I made this yesterday for my friends, and they loved it so much they begged me to come here and teach it to you. Keep mixing. Besides the amazing taste, the final look is wonderful. I'm sure you'll impress everyone at home. Now I can dip the chicken in again. These ingredients together create an explosion of flavor. When you make it, send me a picture. I'd love to see how it turned out. Alright, now I'll place it on a plate. You can spoon some of the mixture over the top. Look how beautiful it is. Exactly how I wanted it. The soft texture is the highlight. Try it at home and tell me how it went. Remember, these exclusive tips you only get here with me. If you're enjoying this, keep an eye on the next videos. The prep is simple, but the result is worthy of a chef. You don't need to spend hours in the kitchen to make an incredible dish. I learned this when I traveled to Italy. The best chicken I've ever had. To start our recipe, we're going to make a cut along the side of a chicken breast and open it up completely. I covered it with plastic wrap, pounded it with a kitchen mallet, and got it to the right thickness to continue. In a bowl, I add 1 cup of wheat flour. Now we coat the chicken breast in the flour on both sides. In another bowl, I add 2 eggs, 4 cloves of minced garlic, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of black pepper. To add a special touch, I add parsley to taste. I also add 100 grams of grated Parmesan and mix everything really well. I take the floured chicken breast, dip it into the mixture, and then fry both sides over low heat. And before I forget, tell me what city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout-out. Today's shout-out goes to Rachel Morgan from Denver, Colorado. I'm so glad you're enjoying our recipes. Back to our delicious recipe. In the same pan where we fried the chicken breast, we add half a cup of chicken broth, 2 cloves of minced garlic. For a fresh citrus flavor, I squeeze in 1 lime. Have you ever tried making a recipe like this at home? Let me know. I'd love to hear. I add parsley to taste. And here's the secret to thickening the broth. 1 tablespoon of butter. I mix it slowly to make sure the butter blends in. Meanwhile, the aroma starts getting stronger. I gently place the chicken breast in the center of the pan. Using a kitchen spoon, I spoon the sauce over the top to cover every part with flavor. The broth is already shining beautifully. A few seconds later, I flip the chicken so it can absorb everything from the other side too. I carefully place the chicken breast on a plate. Then, with a kitchen spoon, I spoon a bit of the broth over it. The aroma filled the room, and the texture was exactly what I was aiming for: golden, moist, and juicy. This is the moment when everything comes together. As soon as I took a bite, I could feel how the crispy outside contrasted with the soft inside. It's the kind of dish that surprises you. At home, I hadn't even finished tasting it, and they were already asking me to make it again. When a recipe works this well, you keep it for life.
Start by adding 4 potatoes cut into half-moon shapes. The oil is already hot, so let the potatoes fry. Fry them until they turn golden for a few minutes. Look, the fried potatoes are almost ready. Now, add 12 onions cut into half-moon shapes. Mix them with the potatoes. Let the onions fry with the potatoes for a few more minutes. Be careful when mixing, because the oil is very hot and you might burn yourself. Do it cautiously. Since the potatoes are almost ready, leave them aside for now. Now prepare the egg mixture. In this bowl, add 6 or 7 eggs. Then, add a teaspoon of salt. Also, add half a teaspoon of black pepper. Mix the eggs well, whisking them with a fork to make it easier. This potato recipe will surprise you. It's delicious and easy to make with everyday ingredients. I mixed the eggs well, and now the potatoes are ready. So, turn off the heat. Drain a bit of the oil and add the potatoes to the eggs. Remove all the potatoes from the pan and add them to the eggs. All in the same bowl. Don't worry, the result will be excellent. Even though it's a different recipe, everyone who tries it always wants more. Now, just mix the potatoes with the eggs well. Look, I mixed the potatoes with the eggs well. Now, put everything back in the pan with a bit of oil. Notice that I'm using a smaller pan, and the oil is just to grease it. Add all the potatoes and distribute them evenly, organizing them in the pan. Turn the heat to low temperature and cover the pan. After a few minutes, it will have cooked on one side. Then, flip the recipe. Look, it's golden on one side. Now, use a plate to flip the recipe. See how it's turning out. Put it back in the pan to brown the other side. You can use spatulas or a board to flip it. I always like to flip it this way, to keep the recipe together and avoid breaking it. And to finish our recipe, cover it again and leave it for a few more minutes to brown. Look, it's ready. The other side is perfectly golden as well. Now, take the plate and flip the recipe one more time. Look at how it turned out. A real marvel. See how our recipe stayed whole and well browned. In just a few minutes, it's ready. Cut a portion to show you how it looks inside. Try this recipe at home and let me know how it turned out. I want to know if you achieved the perfect point, and if you came up with any different ideas for this recipe. Enjoy your meal.
A chef taught me the best potato I've ever eaten in my life. I'll start by cutting 5 potatoes into medium pieces. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a big hug. Today's hug goes to Michael Johnson from Austin, Texas. I'm really glad you're enjoying our recipes. Then I'll place everything in a pot, cover with hot water, and let it cook until tender, about 15 minutes. Now, in a pan, I'll add 1 tablespoon of butter, stirring until completely melted. When that happens, I'll add 3 chopped garlic cloves and sauté. Tell me, what's your favorite potato recipe to make? I'd love to know. I'll add half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of chicken seasoning, 1 cup of heavy cream, and mix everything well. The flavor of this recipe is simply amazing. You won't regret making it, and it's super practical. I'll transfer our cooked potatoes into this pan and mix well with this tasty sauce. For that special touch, I'll add 150 grams of shredded mozzarella. Finally, I'll add 20 grams of grated Parmesan and stir well so the cheese melts and blends into the sauce. At this point, the cheese has melted completely. Now just add some fried bacon pieces on top and also chopped parsley to taste. Mix everything well. The aroma is already perfect. Imagine the taste. Make potatoes like this at home, and then come back to tell me what you thought. I'm sure you and your family will love it. Just one ingredient, and chicken wings will melt in your mouth like butter. I'll start by cutting 2 pounds of chicken wings into pieces. After that, I'll put everything into a pot with water then 1 cup of Coca-Cola, and let it cook for 5 minutes. After that time, we'll take it out and place it in a bowl. And before I forget, tell me which city you're watching from so I can send you a big hug. Today's hug goes to Jessica Brown from Orlando, Florida. I'm so happy you're enjoying our recipes. In a pan, I'll add 2 tablespoons of butter and let it melt. When that happens, I'll add the chicken wings inside and let them fry. Then we'll season with 1 teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt, and stir to combine. Now in a bowl, I'll add 2 tablespoons of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of honey, 2 tablespoons of mustard, 1 grated garlic clove, 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, and mix everything really well. The juice of half a lime. Tell me, how do you make chicken wings at home? I'd love to know your recipe. I'll pour this wonderful sauce into the pan, over the chicken wings, and stir well. Finally, we'll add 1 cup of Coca-Cola, cover, and let it finish cooking. Make chicken like this at home, and then come back to tell me what you think. I'm sure you and your whole family will love it. The flavor is simply divine. You'll regret it if you don't make it.
When I make chicken with pasta like this, everyone asks me for the recipe. For today's recipe, I'm gonna cut 2 chicken breasts into cubes. Then I'll add a tablespoon of butter to a pan and spread it all around. After that, I toss in the chicken. This part is super important to get the chicken just right. Once it gets that golden color, I'll add a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of paprika, and a teaspoon of oregano. Mix everything real well. Meanwhile, I'll grab another pot and fill it with water. I'll add a teaspoon of salt and 250 grams of pasta. Then I'll let it cook for 15 minutes. Now I'm gonna take the chicken out of the pan and set it aside. And before I forget, tell me what city you're watching from so I can send you a special shout out. Today's shout out goes to Travis Whitaker from Mississippi. I'm so glad you're enjoying our recipes. In the same pan, I'm adding another tablespoon of butter and spreading it. Well, then I'll saute half an onion chopped into cubes. This recipe is just so good. I'll also add 2 garlic cloves. These ingredients make all the difference at the end. Once the time's up, I'll drain the pasta. Then I'll add 100 grams of mushrooms. Do you like adding mushrooms to your recipes too? I'm pouring in 1 cup of heavy cream, 3/4 of a cup of milk, a teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of black pepper. Mix it all up. Always keep the heat low so it doesn't burn. Now I'll add back the chicken I cooked earlier. Ever seen a recipe like this? Send it my way so I can try it too. Then I'll add in the cooked pasta and mix everything with the sauce. I love recipes like this, perfect for busy weekdays. Now I'm gonna top it with Parmesan to taste. The texture that Parmesan brings is amazing. I always use it. Then I'll serve up a portion. This recipe is not only super easy to make, it's also super cheap because we usually already have the ingredients at home. Send this to your friend who's into chicken. They'll love getting this recipe from you. Make it at home today and let me know how it turned out. I'd love to hear from you. Look how good this is looking. I can't wait to try it once it's done. I bet your mouth's watering just watching it come together.